This lab in Waterloo, Ontario is a long way from the runways of Paris and Milan. Here, they're designing something that could disrupt the very fabric of the fashion industry. The company is called Altex. Their goal, turn food waste into clothing.
We're essentially creating a more circular alternative to polyester that's biodegradable, carbon neutral, and re-engineered from food waste.
Exactly what we want to start with, and then we continue to optimize so that we can prepare for textile applications.
They want to replace polyester, a synthetic that doesn't break down and can leach microplastics into the soil and water.
Like a lot of us don't realize, it's made from fossil fuels. We love to blame, the cars and the power companies and say that that's what's causing the carbon emissions, but we're not realizing that we're literally wearing fossil fuels.
Myra Arshad and Avneet Gotra are high school friends who love fashion but hate its environmental impact. They say fast fashion is the biggest culprit. The latest trends go from runway to retail in record time. The price is low, so is the quality. Clothes meant to be worn a few times, then tossed aside.
I think there was one point in time where I hadn't bought clothing for 2 full years because there's just so much paranoia around what's on the shelf and who's made it and what the materials are made out of. It's absolutely an obsession for us.
It's estimated the clothing and textiles industry is responsible for between 2 to 8% of the world's greenhouse gas emissions. That's more than all international flights and global shipping combined. The industry also uses an incredible amount of water, more than 7,500 liters of water to make a typical pair of jeans. Thanks to fast fashion, more clothes than ever are being produced. Forget 4 design seasons. Now companies put out new products every week. All that consumption means a lot more clothes get tossed away. 6% of all municipal waste in the U.S. is from textiles. One estimate says 1 garbage truckload of clothing is burned or put in a landfill every second.
There is so much stuff, everything from dresses.
5, 6, 7, 8.
With social media creating pressure to constantly wear new clothes, it can be hard to keep up.
I feel like right now all the trends are moving so quickly. As soon as you buy one shirt, by next week it's gonna go out of fashion.
It's cheaper for a reason. Like, it's hurting the environment and they don't last long, and then we have to continuously buy new clothing.
Has fast fashion conditioned us to think of clothes as disposable now?
Absolutely. It's like fast food. There's so many parallels, right? It's cheap, really accessible, not that good for you.
About 750 out of the target of 1,000.
Kelly Drennan is trying to change the way Canadians think about what they wear. She preaches the 7 R's. There's reduce, reuse, recycle, then
there's repurpose, so taking something old and turning it into something new and great, also known as upcycling. Repair, so learn how to sew a hole in the toe of your sock or a button back on a garment, right? And then you've got rental. So for those one-off kind of special occasions, graduation or wedding, you can rent a dress instead of buying it and only wearing it once. You can resell your clothes. And then at the end of the day, our stuff gets recycled.
All right, this is one of the brands we're talking about earlier, Shin.
In this apartment in Winnipeg, Ogasa Ogemwaye sees fast fashion castaways all the time.
It's crazy because a lot of the clothes we get still have name tags on them.
He co-founded Thriftsome, an online thrift store, part out of love of clothing, but also to help stem fashion's environmental impact.
I want to have kids someday, and I know with the rates that fast fashion is going, it's scary to think about what will happen in the future.
His co-founder, Joshua Acom, is finishing an MBA in Edmonton. Growing up in Ghana, he said thrift clothing was an economic necessity. Now he hopes it's the key to helping fashion solve its environmental problems.
Because the whole idea of fast fashion is to get it quick and get rid of it quickly. And so if you buy secondhand clothing, you are slowing down that process of ending up in a landfill.
He's optimistic the small business they're running out of an apartment in Winnipeg can take on the fashion giants.
We are hopeful because this generation cares so much about the planet. They care so much about where they get their stuff from. And we hope that they will put their money where their heart is.
That hope isn't misplaced. Some shoppers say helping the environment is definitely on trend.
One of my favorite things to do is vintage shop. So by supporting vintage shopping, you're supporting recycled clothing. And just like I said, fashion comes back.
I'd rather have a piece that lasts me a little bit longer and spend a little bit more money on it, knowing I'm going to wear it for the next 5-10 years and it's going to last.
Kelly Drennan says the best place to start a sustainable wardrobe is in your own closet.
You know, we wear 20% of our wardrobe 80% of the time. So basically, 80% of our wardrobe is just sitting there, not getting worn.
And this is a resin, I guess? Is that what you call it?
Polymer resin, correct.
Back in the lab in Waterloo, they're still perfecting the polymers and threads that were once old potatoes and apples. They're hoping to turn this into a wearable prototype in the next 2 years.
Yes, we're tackling polyester as a whole, but through that process, we're just making people more conscious about what they're wearing.
Their hope that they can weave together a solution that can help fashion and the planet. Stephen D'Souza, CBC News, Waterloo, Ontario.